Let's talk about Purdue's defense last season, specifically the guard spots.
I thought we moved on.
Well, we tried.
Oh,
I don't know if we ever did move on, but honestly, a lot of people may not have moved on. I don't know. This was all over my timeline, and I think anyone whose timeline is like mine in Big Ten country. Let's just get right into it, and I'm going to lay this out as plainly as possible. I am simply reading facts of what occurred yesterday and what was said yesterday from other parties that are not myself. I will provide my opinions on said situation in just a few short moments after you go. But to start, let's just start with what happened yesterday. Apparently, this all began with a Rapheal Davis tweet. He quote tweeted the Ryan Hammer Bennett Sturts interview. We did a video on it yesterday. Shout out to Hammer. Bennett Sturts and Braden Smith roomed together at the CP3 camp, and Bennett Sturts discussed, like, what's my relationship with Braden? I'm excited to kind of chase that guy. He's extremely good. Rapheal loved this clip, quote tweeted Hammer, and got everybody talking with this. He said, quote, I just hope all the point guards in the conference take the challenge and guard each other night in and night out. I'll be distraught if dudes run from matchups. And tweet seems to be pointed in the direction he's trying to make a point with that. I think in response, a lot of Purdue fans and other people just sort of freaked out at this and were like, what are you trying to say? For example, one of the replies from an account, I think it's Spurgeon Train, said, you watched Purdue put their two guard on point many games last season. Do you not expect that again if Cox or Harris starts? To which Rapheal replied, I watched the worst Purdue defense I've seen in a long time. I hope something changes. Dudes had no pride last season. End quote.
mm.
So if I could summarize everything that has been said thus far, Rapheal seems to be implying, let's just call a spade, that because Braden Smith would not guard opposing point guards, he considers that taking no pride in the defensive end. And that must have played an element in Rapheal's mind to the worst Purdue defense they've seen in a long time. Does that seem like a fair way to frame everything that's been said thus far?
Yeah, I think you framed it a fair way.
Okay.
The thing I would add probably only to the end of that was also, because there was discussion on why would 5'10", 5'11" Braden guard 6'4" Bennett Sturts or someone of that height, that caliber, and it was kind of just responding like that. I mean, that's just not how I see, or Ray, when I say Ray feels like this is not how I see it. Like, go if that's your guy, that's your matchup. Go match up with them and go be that guy.
Yep. Okay. So I do think there was a lot of quality discussion that came out of this. I saw, and this is, I say it all the time because look, let's just be real about all this. Rapheal comes up a lot in the content world. He first off, he's everywhere. He's working really hard. He's on Big Ten Network all the time. He's doing a great job professionally. He's also, and this is what I love about him, why I have immense respect for him. He engages with fans more than almost anybody else in media. I think that's awesome. And I think more people that are on Big Ten Network, faces of this sport, should do that, should be a part of the conversation with fans. So that's kind of where this went. Like Rapheal really had the debate. And I saw him and Ant Wright going back and forth. He was going back and forth with a lot of Purdue accounts that I follow. It seemed like kind of an all day long discussion. Just for the sake of trying to, again, lay this out as accurately as I can to what happened. I feel like I'm like Dr. Phil or Maury or something right now. Um, we think Braden Smith saw this, and we think he kind of did the subtweet move, right? There was like an ominous Braden Smith tweet kind of in the middle of all of this going down. Um, and then we think there may have been like a family member chiming in. Do I have that side of this right? It looked like maybe there was somebody from Braden Smith's side that got direct and shared some Rapheal Davis stats. So, like, again, just trying to summarize what's going on here because it went from like a fair discussion to like something's going on here that resulted in like a former Purdue beloved player who is now an analyst for this conference kind of seemingly like at war with the preseason national player of the year in his family
Mhm.
publicly. I don't know if that's what Rapheal even wants. Maybe it is. I don't know. But it's certainly unique and something that doesn't often happen. So hopefully I've framed this as good as I possibly can. I feel like we're in between two people that we like here. We obviously love Braden, and Raphael's been nothing but great to us. So help us sort through this, Carter. Does Raphael have a point with all of this? Is he making it the right way or the wrong way?
So I think that there's points that, I certainly agree with. I also think there's some points that maybe I just have differing basketball opinions on. Now, one thing's for certain, when it comes to talking about defense and defense at Purdue, I feel like Raphael is a spokesperson for that. All right, like that's what that dude did. All right, he was one of the best defenders in the Big Ten. So you gotta listen at a certain point. And also, I want to just double down on every sentiment you said. I appreciate Raphael for the stuff that he does, all the work that he does with Big Ten Network and everything, and just being like available online. Kind of, it's really cool. You don't really see it nowadays, I think, from a lot of media people. And he speaks his mind too, which I appreciate because I'm one to always speak my mind. So, um, I mean, here's the facts. Last year's defense was god awful for Purdue. It was. It was. It was free reign at the rim. They could not get stops. There was no rim protection. The defensive rebounding wasn't great. It was a very, very tough defensive year. I think that's all facts. I don't disagree with that in any way, shape, or form. The part that I guess just doesn't really resonate with me or sit right with me is the caring word here. Or I'm sorry, the pride word. Because I don't think that it is a pride issue. I think it is these are bad defensive player issues. I now could you probably point out some times where these guys thought about offense more than defense? Yes. But when I say guys don't take pride in defense, it to me it's more so guys that actually have the ability to defend. They just don't really put an emphasis on that end of the floor. I think that last year's Purdue team could have had all the pride in the world, and I don't think the defense would have been better because the personnel was not made to be a good defense. Now, there is a great amount of pride that goes into defense. I will say that. I think it's wild the things you can do when you actually tell yourself to kind of like strap your nuts on and be like, get a stop. You also don't get a stop every time. That's just the way it is. If it's better offense or you're not a good defender, that's what happens. But I don't know. I just look at it as a rim protection, defensive rebounding, personnel issue more so than these guys didn't take pride in that end issue.
Okay, agree there. Agree there. What was the largest part of Purdue's defensive issues last year, Cart?
I would say rim protection.
The center spot.
Yeah.
Every single thing that team did schematically, both offensively and importantly defensively, was to try and cover up the fact that they were playing a med school student and a Wichita State bench warmer at the five and trying to win championships with those guys. It was a personnel hole, the likes of which we have not seen a team with two All Americans try and deal with ever. And they corrected it this year, give them credit. But if you remember last year, they went through all these different versions of themselves. Like in November, Jacobson was healthy for 10 minutes. That defense would have looked a lot different than what the defense became. Because once Jacobson got hurt, they tried to play Wilberg. Then they tried to go small. Then they tried to finally settle on Caleb First as our full-time five. Okay, what do we look like now that we've landed on the guy? Okay, we have to change our scheme. So they changed the scheme defensively, and they actually got a lot more disruptive. And I want to say this was like in the middle of January, their perimeter defense got way more disruptive. They were forcing turnovers. They kind of like landed on something that worked. And like honestly, to Braden Smith and every other guard on the teams, I don't know, to their credit, they were the reason why there was like a defensive resurgence. They bought into a scheme that was like, we're going to jump passing lanes and pressure the ball full court, right? Remember CJ
Mhm.
Cox and Jakari like picking up 40 feet? Like, it was crazy. And by the way, by the end of the season, teams scouted it and figured it out, right? By March, it wasn't working as well as it was in January. But it was like all they had. And it was a good scheme. And if you're going to play that scheme, which they were forced into playing, you can't have Braden Smith picking guys up full court, can you? Like, what are we really asking from the preseason National Player of the Year this year? We're asking him to be the best point guard in NCAA history from a playmaking standpoint. We're asking him to never come off the floor because, reminder, he is on track to set the all time minutes record in NCAA history. This guy has played more minutes through 3 years than any player ever. We're asking him to carry that burden offensively. And then also, oh shit, because our center spot's so bad, now we have to play a high pressure scheme defensively, and you need to pick up the point guard. That's insane,
Yeah,
right?
and on that same point, because I think I was gonna go here with this too. Matt Painter is one of the best coaches in the game. He had the tools at his disposal last season, and he picked what I thought was the best scheme given who he had. And I thought you want to put guys in the right spot to help the team succeed. One of the best things about Braden's defensive stuff is that he's like this great free safety anticipation dig down guy. I think that's one of the best parts of his game. He's got great, very quick hands. He's one of the smartest players in the country. You don't really get to utilize that if he's picking up 94 feet
Right.
or if he's like your point of attack defender. It just doesn't necessarily work like that. So yes, I mean you can continue if you're going, but yeah, I just wanted to get that out there too.
No, it's like, and again, I don't think it has to be an indictment on Braden Smith or his pride or his defense to say that it was better for the team to have two guys. Because it's not just one, right? It's not like CJ Cox was playing 40 minutes and we said he's better than Braden defensively. They had two guys that were interchangeable in Cox and Harris that could always be fresh and pick up full court. That's part of why it worked, was because they had fresh legs. Braden never had fresh legs, right? And I guess if the ask here is like Braden needs to have fresh legs and play 40 minutes and want the challenge, like I guess I see what we're saying, but I do think, and I look, I'm not these guys. I don't know their relationship. I'm only reading what's happening in response to things that are being said. My gut feel here is there isn't a great relationship. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't mean to interject, but like if there was a level of relationship here, then I would be like, okay, you can say that. But if there's not, it feels like we're just kind of getting personal with the best point guard in the country. Dion, you okay? You look a little sweaty.
So every August, September, my air conditioning breaks, and there's just nothing I can do about it.
Dude, that's tough. Out in California too. Like, I mean, what is it, like 80 degrees still there today?
Today's gonna be like 85, 90, but like peak summer, it gets to like 110. My AC just doesn't ever hold up.
I mean, it sounds like it's a bummer that you can't take advantage of Duncan Mechanical Solutions, because Duncan Mechanical Solutions is an HVAC company based in Angola, servicing the tri-state area, bringing commercial quality to the residential world with excellent customer service. You heard us talk about Duncan Mechanical last summer. If you need heating or air conditioning, kitchen or bath remodeling, or all of the above, Duncan Mechanical is the place to go in the Midwest. Go to duncanmechanicalsolutions.com to take advantage and make sure you don't wind up like Dion. And that's where I'm a little, I don't know if I do it that way. Now, at the same time, all of that said, I can disagree with the way he's presenting this, the pride thing specifically, while also stepping back and saying, as someone who has watched this league for 20 plus years, Rapheal Davis is one of the biggest dogs, biggest defenders, best defenders, grittiest, toughest guys that I have ever watched in the league. So, like, there is a level to this of like, he can say whatever he wants. He
Hmm.
can like he's earned the right to talk about defense and pride about anyone he wants to
Hmm.
because he has lived it. He embodies that. He is that. Like and you can't take that away from him. No matter what his offensive stats were, no matter anything else about him. He lived that. So it's hard for me because I think had he stopped short of like the pride point, or had he stopped short of just kind of, I don't know, like I feel like this isn't the first time he's really tried to make a point about Braden, then I think I I honestly agree with what he's saying. Like last year's defense was terrible. It needs a mentality change, team wide from both of the All Americans.
Hmm.
But the other thing here is we never mentioned TKR's defense, do we?
It's funny you got there because I think it's the pride argument, and it's only the pride of one guy
Right.
in this scenario, because let's not get it twisted. TKR was food defensively. He was food. Like, so it's a little bit too like pointed on one guy. And look, to your point, when it comes to the dog defense stuff, like that's Raphael's got a, you got a body language PhD. He's got a PhD on the defensive end and in pride, dog. And just like, what I'm saying? Like, you think of Purdue, you think of Raphael Davis. Like, you can say what you want, you can bring up the offensive stats like you said, but he was an impactful, left his mark on one of the better Big Ten schools and better Big Ten cultures in basketball. But I just I don't know. I do think also there's a little bit of an inkling of like trying to connect like how it was done back then to how it is now. And
Right.
it's a little bit different. And I understand that line of thinking, and I get where he's coming from. But also at the same time, they're like, to your point. So we're asking our 6 foot point guard to play 40 minutes a game, get everybody their shots, get his own. Oh, and also while you're at it, please pick up 94 feet and check the 6'5" point guard.
Right. So
It's like
I just don't think the words like pride or want to should ever be tied into something with Braden Smith. That kid,
that's probably the biggest point.
that kid is an all-timer, leave it all out there guy. He's literally given this program, I think, as much as any human being has ever.
In an era where he could he could have left this program.
Right. So, but it's interesting, dude, because like I'm you said I think you said when you think Purdue, you think Rapheal Davis. I'm not gonna disagree with that or anything. I'm like,
I'm talking about like defensive stuff.
sure, fair
Yeah.
statement. That this is how I would say. This is what I think. When I think Rapheal Davis, I think defense.
Hmm.
When I like Raphael's name comes up, I'm like defensive master.
Oh,
One of the
yeah.
best defenders I have ever seen. Again, subject matter expert. He can say whatever he wants, and I trust him. But when I think Purdue, I think Braden Smith. I think the
Mm.
best point guard in NCAA history. So like, listen, both can be true. He can be vocal about defense without kind of needing to like speak on behalf of Purdue here, right?
Mhm.
Like that's kind of where I'm at. And I don't think he's trying to speak on behalf of Purdue for the record. I think he's trying to speak on behalf of himself. And again, it's one of my favorite things about Rafe. He is not afraid to say things he knows will not be received well, even about his own program. We need more of that in media. With all that said, I'd be fascinated to know like what does Painter think of this? there's no way Matt Painter agrees with Rapheal Davis on this. And I know Paint and Rapheal have a great relationship. I know they see each other every year. So like like I wonder if there's like a text being sent like what are we doing
I
here?
reached out for paint for contact.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. You think you're going to hear back?
Well, I did get a message back actually.
You did.
Yeah, that this is not a number that's in service.
I figured that makes sense. Lastly, my last little note on this. So I think the biggest objection I have with the way this was presented was the idea of what made their defense so bad last year or want to. Either way you want to frame it, whether it's desire, pride, or just defensive ability. It wasn't one guy. Why is it being framed entirely around, I hope the point guard wants to guard people? Because let's be clear, as much as this is Braden's team, it's the three veterans. It is Braden, it is Fletcher, and it is TKR. Carter, who is the best defender of those three?
Braden.
Without question. TKR is a liability defensively at his spot. You have to scheme around him. Fletcher Lawyer is an absolute negative defensively. You have to scheme around him. Braden is not. He's a good defender. He's a good off-ball guy that is like an elite steals guy, an elite IQ guy that tries. Effort has never been a problem with Braden defensively. So that's what loses me the most beyond just like why are we picking at pride of one of the biggest effort guys we've ever seen. It's just not one guy's responsibility to want to here. It is those three together, and we have talked about this for years, have we not? They're
Yeah,
such a great trio, but they're not a good defensive trio, and they never will be.
right. That's why you surround them with guys that are good at defense.
Right. But it's just like have that argument about the team, about the group. Framing it all as like Braden's responsibility is just, I think that's where it loses me completely. Doesn't seem fair, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's unfair, I think.
Yeah.
Just a tad.
Last time we did a video on something Raphael said, he hit us on Twitter. It was like something about like when are sleepers dropping the bag or something. Like can sleepers get Raphael on the team?
Yeah.
Do we need to have a conversation with Raphael? I'm certainly open to it. I love Raphael.
So I would love to have Raphael on. There was a world where I wanted to us be like the middlemen and bring the two parties together, have a discussion here on Sleepers. Let's
I
talk it
mean,
out.
to me, I feel like it would be fun if we got to like we've talked about doing like a Final Four live show.
Hmm.
It'd be fun if we got there and like the day before a Final Four game was like the break bread, Raphael and Braden come together and we chug a beer while they sit there and look at us.
We would do like we do the dumbest shit ever. I would actually have my sister bake a loaf of sourdough and I want to watch them physically break it in front of me as I have my I don't know, I think I'll be off a little everything hazy IPA at that point. I feel like that's what I'll be doing at that
Yeah.
Final Four, but I want to see them physically break a loaf of sourdough bread.
With that said, I don't think you and I have ever identified as middlemen. I think we're much more aligned with like we'll take sides. We take sides.
We not only would take sides, we'll instigate. We'll instigate.
Yeah.
We would be there and be like, damn, he took a bigger half of that loaf. What's that
Yeah.
supposed to mean?
Like I will be dramatic about things that don't require drama. I don't need an in on that. So let me end with this card then, from an instigative standpoint. Whose side are you on?
In this scenario?
In the debate on quote, dudes had no pride. I hope point guards want to guard each other between Rapheal Davis and whoever he's talking about. Whose side are you on here?
I'm on the side of whoever he's talking about because I don't think it was a pride thing.
Can I be a little more direct? Because
Sure.
I feel like no, honestly, why not just say Brayton if you're Rafe, right? That's what you're
Well,
talking about.
in the responses, he said to somebody, "Everyone thinks this is about B. It's not about B."
What?
Yeah.
How is it not?
Now, I think the discussion afterwards, when all the Purdue fans might have came to him and were like, "Well, Braden, Braden, Braden," he was like, "Well, it's not even about B," and then had more discussion directly about Braden. But he said that it wasn't about him.
Now I didn't see that. So maybe, man, maybe I misframed this entire thing then. If Rafe felt, but how
I mean,
isn't it about him?
it is about him. Come
What are
on,
we missing?
we're not missing anything. It's about him.
Okay, I guess I'm confused. I got to go back and check the tape then, because I thought this was as direct could be about one guy.
I mean, it is.
Then in that case, I'll be direct to end the video. I am on the side of the Smith family.
The Smith family.
Yeah, my daughter calls Braden, Uncle B.
So
So
I'm on Braden's side. I can't be on the Smith family side, unfortunately, though.
you're drawing the line before stats were tweeted.
Yeah, I can't get with that, man. I can't. You know me. I don't do the whole like show statistics to like disrespect somebody's point, mainly because it gets used against me a lot. Definitely don't
Yeah.
like it being used against like a 4-year Division 1 basketball player. I can't get with
One
that.
of the best defensive players I've seen in 20 years.
Yeah,
So,
like I just I can't align with that. But Braden, yeah, aligned.
okay.